Well, it's time to wrap up my budget fitness month by discussing the game that started the Just Dance trend, Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party. What's the story behind that? Well, watch my review of this Nintendo Wii Classic to find out. Let's run that intro, guys. Let's celebrate the end of Budget Fitness Month.
For self-improvement, crafts, and fitness games, go ahead and turn on YouTube and watch Jack.
Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party, or RRTV as you'll commonly see abbreviated online, is up there with the original Rayman Raving Rabbids for the best mini game collection on the Nintendo Wii. Like the previous one, this puppy has a story. The idea is that the Rabbids have taken over Raymans TV and runs the programming block on different channels. This, of course, annoys him. So you must play through a day's worth of mini games on these channels to get Rayman super angry and angry enough to throw, hit, or do something to the TV. Eventually, the TV will crack enough that it will free the rabbits, and they shall begin taking over the world. You may notice that the story has gotten worse, along with Rayman, not being part of this game, not playable, and his role just diminished to being in these cutscenes. That sucks, but it's made up by the awesome theming and this great plot device of TV. The channels host a group of different programs which will be correlated to the mini games that need to be completed. For example, one TV channel in the game is Groove On, which is a dancing channel based on that beloved dancing mini game. The Cult Movies TV channel is based on the different movie themes like Star Wars or like Night of the Living Dead. It features like shooting games and other like little parody mini games. X-Tam Sports features a parody of sporting TV shows featuring some pretty awesome games, including one where you must like slide down the side of the mountain to the extreme. All of the channels and pre-game cutscenes are based on the premise of parodying different TV channels. Again, this is all done very well and includes these well-animated TV bumpers and segments, which makes the presentation pop. It's easily the best themed game in the series. Not much considering the other first game is just, dark, being kept in jail. And the second game is themed to like mall travel agents or whatever. The series doesn't really have a strong theme, so this game just takes the cake by default. The developers take the TV concept further by introducing commercials. You may get randomly prompted to press a button on the Wii remote controller if you're not doing well on like certain mini games. From there, it'll play this cute little 2D cutscene where you have to follow like a prompt during it at the right time. In doing so, you will get a little benefit or boost to your score. An example of this happening during my gameplay is this. I was playing this shooting game where you have to like draw the shapes. I think it's called like Star Wars. I should have written it down here, but I forgot to. And I was doing okay, but not great. The advert popped up and I followed along with the prompt. That gave me a super shot to clear out the entire field and rack up some pretty impressive points in order to unlock the costumes. These come in handy and saved my butt a few times. And honestly, I just really like the theming in these. It's just so awesome. That brings me to the mini games in this collection. Honestly, there are some just great ones in this installment and some mediocre ones as well. They brought back the idea of progression by having multiple rounds of each minigame, a great idea and something that was sorely missed back in Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. God, I'm saying Rayman Raving Rabbids a lot. Here's an example. The mini game playing behind me is called Mega Balls. The concept is you have turned into a bouncing ball and you can swing around using the Wii remote. You move around your little ball with the nunchuck controller and have to collect these little glowing balls, which gives you points. The field moves automatically, so you must jump around by swinging this and moving your character to dodge lasers and get enough points to unlock the Rabbids gear. It's a great game that is made even better through multiplayer. My wife and I had just tons of fun playing on this one together, trying to bounce around and hit each other so that way we can collect the most points. Honestly, with 4 characters, it'll probably be so much chaotic fun that it's going to be just worth the price of admission alone. Speaking of the costumes, this game actually utilizes the Rabbids costumes through a mini game titled Pimp My Rabbid. The game pops up a description of what it wants you to dress as, and you must follow it. Depending on how closely your costumes get to it, is your points value. I didn't really play the game as I didn't get enough costumes to really start getting the points right. So I didn't even bother recording it. This is actually someone else's gameplay I took from online. I'll put the username in the corner just so you get credit. But it was just such a great, unique idea, and it actually makes collecting these costumes more worth than just like completionist goals. You know, this has an actual purpose in the game, and I just love it so much. The actual costumes, you know, are not as good as the second game. You know, there's not really any character-based costumes, but you know, it's good. It works. It's great. I just love this game. Another cool thing is that some minigames even use the Wii balance board, which is great. It definitely adds some challenges to these collections, and makes my purchase of the Wii balance board all the way back in like 2007 worthwhile. My favorite one involving the balance board is Mount Behind. You sit on the balance board and you must move your weight around, use shifting your butt, and you glide the rabbit down the mountain as fast as possible. This one is just fun, and it's fun to play with someone else. My girlfriend who keeps trying to push me off so that way I don't get as much points as her. I just love this game. The shooting minigame in this one is a bit better than the previous game, but isn't a main focus like it was in Rayman Raving Rabbids 1. There are just 2 shooting games that are broken down into 2 patterns for each, for a total of 4 shooting games. There are a parody of zombies and sci-fi films on the Cult Movies channel. Your goal here is to shoot as many rabbits as possible as the scene, with the minimum amount you need to shoot being dictated as a director. Going over grants you bigger bonuses, as does carrying a different combo. These 2 additions are great, and it makes it more worthwhile not to just shoot stuff randomly and reload. You know, you can build a combo based on chaining your shots. My one wish with this section is I wish there were more than just 2 levels across these 4 minigames. Give me at least a full channel of shooting games. Also, I love the, hand grip in the first game where you can go whoosh, grab the rabbit, grab it back to you, throw it back at the game. I love that in the first game as a defense when you just need to kind of reload. That's just another thing that was taken away from the first game. And it's not even in the arcade game, which... Lastly, that brings me to the dancing mini games in this collection. There are actually 2 channels dedicated to dancing. The first is Groove On, which is based on the previous, shaking of the controllers. Shake this to hit the 2 prompts, and then you just do whatever random movements in between. The second mini game collection is from the Shake It TV channel, is a bit more interesting, and I will cover it later. Groove On doesn't do anything much in this iteration, maintaining the same kind of waggle left and right as the second game. It even has the same breakdown of the different levels based on the instrument, which I truly loved. However, this one is great in terms of its track list. Another one Bites the Dust by Queen, Toxic by Britney Spears, even Open Book by The Rakes. I love this song, and there's 3 people who even remember it. I forgot this was even in the game. This is truly the best track list in any of these games. The Rabbids are also a bit less high-pitched than in the second game, so the vocal covers on this are much, much better. Now, let's get interesting. Shake It TV dances to the songs using the Wii remote and, the balance board, but you have to dance along with this avatar instead of just shaking the controllers back and forth. You wave, strike, you wave the hands, strike poses, you clap your hands, and you do so much more. The game even utilizes that Wii balance board to read your feet. As a kid, this mini game blew my mind with what the Wii remote could do. It even blew Ubisoft's mind as well. That's right. This was just sort of a heck demo that they threw in that eventually evolved into the Just Dance series we have today. Returning to this minigame as an adult, I can definitely see that it's kind of like a demo for Just Dance. Just kind of like a quick thing they whipped up to show, hey, you can actually dance with the Wii remote. It's rough when it comes to registering the movements, except for the Wii balance board, but it's just so cool that something like this exists and something that's playable for us. Here's the track list to this minigame. You may actually even notice that Acceptable in the 80s and some other ones are carried over into Just Dance, which makes sense since this is supposed to be kind of a tech demo for Just Dance. Overall, I have to say that while this game wasn't as good as the first game, there wasn't a huge overarching first player mode. The mini games weren't as great. It's still a ton better than the second game. I highly recommend everyone pick up a Wii to play Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party, even if it's just to play the Shake It TV games to see where Just Dance came from. My wife also had a blast playing this game, so for you non-gamers, it is a guaranteed fun time. I love the Rabbids series, and it's nice to know that the games held up to this point, 15 years later at sometimes. I may go back to the other games in the series just so I have a complete playlist of it and have a whole idea of what these annoying Rabbids creatures are. I mean, now look at them. They're playing games with Mario. They're huge nowadays. They have this giant arcade game that's very popular at my local arcade. The Rabbids are everywhere now. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you like it, please give it a big thumbs up in my video. While you are down there, think about subscribing to my channel. I put out a new video every single week on Fridays. If you have any ideas on different video topics you want me to do, please leave a comment below and I'll add them to my to-do list items of things that I want to cover, as I will get to all of them eventually. My goal is to do every single review and stuff that you guys put out for me, along with my own ideas. As long as it's legal, I will pretty much do them. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueJackJank. Lastly, have a fantastic day, everyone. All you guys watching are just so incredibly amazing.